Hello my love, it's Sitara here again. Jumping into this adventure of juicing and the insights that are coming through for me. I say juicing, but I'm also eating fruits. This is my stash of coconuts just delivered today. I've been having some really fun insights around timelines. So I want to dive into this as a topic to explain a little bit more and to hopefully inspire you to be able to exercise your free will in a little bit of a different way. You're exercising the free will to let you know it's not so much about having control in life, but it is about being aware of how many choices you actually have, which ultimately lights you up in being able to have more control. Some of it is perceived control, because the control that you think you have in your life will lead you into a timeline, but you don't exactly know what all is on that particular timeline. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the juicing though and the fruits and why I'm choosing to do this. If you watched the intro video yesterday, you know that I am healing some health ailments that I really think are going to come through and move through a little bit easy. I believe that any sort of physical issue or ailment has to do with emotions that are stuck in the body. Now, for as long as I can remember, I have had throat problems or throat issues. So for me, it's manifesting as thyroid Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism, which runs in my mother's family line, I think, as well as my father. So I'm learning how to exercise this tool of my own throat through self-expression. And one of the things that I wrote about on my post was how, when I started creating my business, I hired a business coach. It was one of the biggest blessings I ever offered myself, and have ever offered any client that I ever worked with after that, because the amount that I learned was extraordinary. But now that I'm a few years away from that, and I've learned a little bit more about how I want to be, how I want to feel in my body, I have started to choose different things for myself, which means I popped into different timelines. The juice, the coconuts, the fruit help activate the clarity to be able to not only understand what it is that I'm going to be sharing with you today, but to also help you to be able to see and visualize it for yourself. Fruit is extremely high in bioavailability. The bioavailability in fruit is the light frequencies that you are eating it, or that you are consuming as you're eating it. So the fruit itself, Mother Nature did not get it wrong. Mother Nature did not get it wrong at all. So when you are eating this super vibrant, super luscious, orgasmic in so many ways fruit, you're also connecting into the intelligence of Mama Gaia. This is the benefit of raw. This is the benefit of raw food. And I'm not trying to convince you to go raw. And in fact, I don't know if my body would be able to handle going full fruits not in a tropical climate. So I'm not pushing this on you, and I'm not encouraging you to do it, especially if you're living in a cold climate. But what I am encouraging you to do is to give yourself the time and spaciousness to really self-reflect within yourself to see what is it that you can do that's going to open your space of clarity within yourself, so that you have a greater understanding of how this universe works and how you work in this universe. So I'm just going to break it down, and I'm going to go on a bit of a rampage. I'm going to put my foot up here and get ready. So, monad. Let's start with monad. Monad is the indivisible spark of divine frequency that lives inside of all human beings, all sentient beings, if we want to go further, but we're just going to focus on human beings. So inside of your heart space is where your energetic soul resides. This is not something that we see in the third dimension. This is an energetic current that is rolling through your body as your soul. It is what keeps you alive. It's a part of you that leaves your body when you die that is immortal. lives on forever. As a medium, I can attest to this. I could whole nother video. There's a lot of videos on it that I've talked about and all of these things. So right now we're just going to focus on you as a living being and what is going on inside of you. So inside of you is this spark of divine frequency. That spark at the very core of each and every single one of our beings is the same frequency. From that, our signature frequency, which is like our thumbprint, starts to form. That's your individual soul. That's where the separation between source and this human experience, this beautifully crafted illusion that we are all participating in. Now, I say illusion and I don't mean that lightly, because time in and of itself is an illusion. The third dimension is only one construct of this massive infinite universe that we are all coexisting in. Now, it is my belief that before we are born, we have access to the infinite nature of this entire divine cosmic field before we come into the human body, before the moment of conception. When we come into this world, into this planet, amnesia. We do not remember where we came from. We don't remember why we're here. We don't remember who we truly are. So we build an identity. And we build an identity based on societal programming, familial programming, DNA, our light body activation. So your light body itself does come with a certain set of information and programming and guidance. And this is why you're a natural at some things, and some things take you a lot of time to learn and understand. It's because you come in with a certain set of programs running already. So when we start to look at timelines, this is really fun, and it gets a little bit tricky, but it actually is very simple when you boil it down. Timelines, and when we say timelines, and it can be a fancy thing that we say in like New Age world, is also, I call them choice points. They're choice points. Every time you come to a place where you can make a decision, whether you decide to order matcha or you decide to order coffee, or you decide to go to Bali or you decide to go to Thailand, you get to choose for yourself what timeline you are going to be existing on. But here's the thing, is that the information from both timelines already exist, because time is not linear. So yourself, your higher self, your infinite being, your cosmic expanded self already has access to the infinite information that is living on both of those timelines. So when you make a decision, rather than using your rational mind, which you can do, and the rational mind has gotten us very far, it's also a very masculine construct. When we look at our intuitive nature, your intuition is the mechanism inside of yourself that has access, that is communicating to your physical body, that is allowing you to gather this information. So if your physical body is the antenna that is receiving this information from both potential timelines that you could choose, let's just say you're going to choose Bali or you're going to choose Thailand as an example. Inside of your being, you've already experienced both. This is how you know which one is better for you and which one is worse. And this is why when somebody else convinces you of something, convinces you to do something that isn't fully aligned with you, because you are not connected to yourself, because you are not aware of your internal compass system, your internal navigation system, this is when we have regrets. This is when we have the shoulda, woulda, couldas. This is when things start to faceplant, because we learn not to trust ourselves. We learn to put people in a role of authority above the authority of our own inner guidance. You with me? You following? You are your very own creator. You have inside of you the exact intelligence that it takes to create worlds. You have inside of you the exact intelligence it takes to create life. You have inside of you the entire blueprint of how this entire universe works. This is the intelligence of your body. I explain this to some of my female students and clients, is that you have a female body. The female ones, of course. You have a female body. Inside of your female body is all of the information to create a human being. Your mind, your brain, no clue. Might have a clue, might have an idea of how it functions, but has no idea on the micro scale of how this takes place, nor does the mind need to do anything other than rest and receive the information from the body that the body is giving the mind to be able to nurture this being, this human being, into creation. That's extremely powerful. So when we are feeding our body processed food, and we are feeding our body dyes, and we are feeding our body dead food, dead processed stuff. I'm not here to shame you on what your food choices are, because I've had my own journey of how to get to myself to be here now, and I still have kind of wobbled based on the emotional attachments that I have to certain things in my life. So, I'm not here to preach, but I want to give you insights as to how this works and what I'm learning about how this works by being on a fruit and juice adventure. And this is not the first time, this is not my first rodeo. Love cleansing because I love the clarity that it offers me. I love detoxing because I love letting go of old sludge. I love not carrying excess baggage. I love letting go of my feelings. I love releasing the emotions of things that have happened 10 years ago that get stored in your body. That's the thing, is that the intelligence of your body not only knows how to create human life, but the intelligence of your body also knows how to protect you from things that have happened in the past that has caused hurt or pain. So your body stores these things. And in nature, in the wild, you'll see an antelope gets chased by a lion, and then the antelope gets all the way away, and they go, whoa! And they like shake, shake, shake. They have all these tremors, and they move, and they shake out the adrenaline, and they shake out what that experience was. They shake out the fight or flight. We have been taught as humans to like suck it up, be strong, don't cry. All of us, women and men. It is so hard for me to cry in front of men. I can cry in front of females, but for me to cry in front of men is like a sign of weakness. Maybe that makes them perceive me as crazy. Maybe that makes them see me in some sort of way that is unlovable. Whatever sort of judgments I have that is based on programming, it's not even me. It's not even the internal core of my like soul expression. Yatake ua poko satatiki awa ua tani awa awa poko a haketania. Sutuku pu okuatani i awa poko a haakua satani i awa poko ukte awa. Yokua tatani awa ua poko a tani awa ua po haakai awa. Suku tuke awa poko ai awa. Yokua popo te awa ua haakai awa. Sutuke awa po upu te aya. You are so deserving of infinite joy. You are so deserving of infinite love. You are so deserving of your highest timeline of expression, of divinity, of abundance, of love, of creation, of expression, of freedom, of inspiration, of rest. You are deserving of that just simply by being birthed, just simply by being human. There is nothing that you need to do to be any more deserving of a blissful, joyful life. And the things that are holding you back from being able to experience that now is the clutch that the ego has to the identity of what has happened. So why juice? Why fruits? Because fruits actually activate detoxification. Detoxification means that your body on a cellular level is letting go of the old cells that are not vibrating at the new frequency. So, when you jump onto a new timeline or you choose something for yourself, just making the choice itself activates a new timeline. Just making the choice itself activates the new timeline, which means that just by you saying yes or just by you saying no, And let's focus on the yes, that when you say yes, it's you start receiving all of the information from this new timeline. You all of a sudden start drinking from the cup of this new timeline. So let's say you decide, you say, yes, I'm going to go to Bali. You are going to start drinking from that cup. You're going to start drinking from that excitement. You're going to start drinking from that elixir. Your inner being, your higher self is like, yes, you know it's in Bali, lots of coconuts. You know it's in Bali, really incredible human beings. You know what else is there? This. I'm using that as an example, but you can take your pick of whatever it is, whether you're going to a new school or you're diving into a new relationship, whatever it is. It's when you choose to say yes, and maybe you even say yes to the breakup. Maybe you say yes to jumping out. Maybe you say yes to ending something. You start drinking from the elixir of the new cup. But what also happens is that there is a separation from what needs to go to be able to make room for the new. But it's not just making room for the new, it's activating this new bright awareness. It's activating this new vibrancy. It's activating this like excitement of what is to come. So in this world right now, a lot of people are drinking from cups that aren't theirs. A lot of people are drinking from fear. A lot of people are drinking from chaos. A lot of people are drinking from drama. A lot of people are drinking from reality TV shows. My goodness. A lot of people are drinking poisons in cans that are not good for your body. It lowers your vibrational frequency. So when I start talking about timelines, and how can you see them, and how can you activate them, and how can you consciously be aware of the choices that you're making and where they are going to lead and what kind of life you are creating for yourself, it's so important to pay attention to how your body feels. And if your body is full of junk, if your body is not feeling high vibrational, if your body is full of like emotional eating patterns, I'm guilty too, for sure. But I do know that when I feel good and when I feel vibrant and when I feel clear, magic starts happening in my life. And so I have felt that yearning, I felt that churning in the last couple of months, and I was going to do this cleanse and not even talk about it, just keep it to myself, but I wanted to share it. I wanted to share it because I want you to know that there is light here, there is goodness here, there is so much vibrancy, there's so much richness that is already in this life that you can choose right now. You can choose with me right now to choose the path of your golden timeline. And when you choose the path of your golden timeline, and these are just fancy words that, you know, we make up to say the highest vibrational timeline, the highest possible outcome. But when you choose that you want to step on that and you want to say yes to it, and you can choose right now, I choose my highest vibrational timeline, I choose my golden timeline, I choose my golden life, whatever you want to call it, that you are choosing the path of your highest acceleration in your best expression, which is your fullest expression. And I want you to know, things might fall away from your life. Things might fall away and they might blow up and it might feel tragic for a little bit, but I can promise you it's worth it. I can promise you so much that it's worth it. You came to this planet to experience your own human existence. You did not come here to be a number. You did not come here to fill your body with junk so then get on medications when you're not feeling well. You came here to express. You came here to create. You have inside of you the divine blueprint to create. That part, that sparkle inside of your own heart that looks only like it is designed for you. It's not saying I see what he's doing and I see what she's doing and I want to do that. Yeah, that might give you inspiration, but find it inside of yourself, because that is the path to fulfillment. That is your experience of having a life worth living, of waking up every day and being like, fuck yes, I'm gonna do this. And maybe that yes is just like, you're gonna chill on the couch and read a book, who cares? It's what you want to do in a way that fulfills you. Maybe it's you want to change the world. Maybe you want to go out there and help people that are starving. Maybe you want to go out there and you want to do big humanitarian work. Maybe you want to start a YouTube channel. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you just want to do art every day. Whatever brings you the most joy, do it and do more of it. And if you don't know what brings you the most joy, start trying new things. Stop eating. Stop eating will give you a lot of clarity as to what is going on inside of you that's blocking, because food itself, it creates so many barriers And it also creates so much richness in our world. But we also, it's important to take the time to stop, to look and see, what is our relationship with food? What is our relationship with the fuel that we are putting in our body? And how is that fuel making you feel? And I can tell you that when you start aligning to Mama Gaia, and you start eating whole plants, fruits, and vegetables, as local as possible, it starts to entrain you to the energy of the land. And when you start being entrained to the energy of the land, really powerful magic starts happening for you. And our food system has gotten really weird. And I'm speaking as an American. Our food system has gotten really weird. It is so hard to get away from anything processed. But I'm telling you, just shop in the produce aisle. And it may take you 6 months to do that. But the more you start moving in that direction, and the more you start moving in that direction, and the more you start moving in that direction, you're going to notice a change. And you're going to notice a change, and you're going to notice a change, and it's just going to keep unfolding. It's just going to keep happening. It's going to get easier and easier. So, did you learn a little bit about timelines? Or what maybe this fancy word means? And I'm going to tell you, I just scratched the surface of the simplicity so that we could understand it in a very digestible way. When you really start connecting with timelines and you really start to understand that every single choice point that you make, do I text him? Do I not text him? Do I read this book now? Do I journal? Do I write? Do I this? Do I that? Boop, 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 boop. Purify your internal field, to stop second guessing yourself, to trust you and only you first, to be clear on what it is that you want, to honor yourself in your highest integrity. We'll step you up into a game where you can start to see these timelines. It activates your clairvoyance, it activates your crown chakra, and all of these things we do on a consistent basis in Moon Club, and we do it in Metaphysical Club, and we do it in the classes that we teach, that I teach, in our membership communities and our group programs. We go in, we use light codes, we use community, we share, we understand, we connect, we see, we hear, we feel, we listen. We activate these parts inside of ourselves that we have been taught to shut down, to separate, to individualize, to hustle, to grind, dissociate, to numb, to disconnect. I invite you to reconnect. I invite you to start thinking about how you relate to your life. I invite you to start thinking about how you relate to your heart. I invite you to start thinking about how you relate to your inner world and your inner being. What is it that you see for yourself inside that you have been missing? Maybe for 1 year, maybe for 1 month, maybe for 5 years. You can look back and go, wow, I was missing that the whole time. I invite you to start looking at your blind spots, my friend. The reawakening of the Divine Feminine is here. And it is gentle and it is powerful. Every single one of us, man, woman, child, we all have a Divine Feminine within us. And as that starts to churn, which it already is, it is absolutely going to change our world in some extraordinary ways. I'm sharing this with you in hopes that you can also start tracking yourself to make it easier on you as the following years continue to unfold, because there is more magic that's coming. So I invite you to jump on top of your golden wave. I invite you to jump on top of your golden timeline. I invite you to purge and get rid of the things in your life that do not serve you anymore. I send a prayer to you that you may see yourself clearly for the powerful creatrix that you truly are on the inside. And may you drink from the cup of such unconditional self-love that it overflows in your entire being onto every single person whose eyes you make contact with and whose hand you hold. Thank you for joining me on this particular day, whatever day it is for you, but in this particular video. I see you, I love you. If you're watching the replay, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. so many blessings your way, and as we go forth, may we integrate the healing and the lessons received with courage, self-love, and compassion. Our journey here today is complete.